Hello all. In last video, we saw the boundary conditions between the conductor and free space, and also we saw the conductor and dielectric material. So next we will see in this video we will see what is the boundary condition between when there are two perfect dielectric materials. So what happens when field flows from one dielectric material to other dielectric material? So what will be the tangential component, what will be the normal component of field and flux density in a particular field? For that, we will consider a dielectric media which is having a permittivity of epsilon 1 and other dielectric media which has a permittivity of epsilon 2. So here we will consider when the field lines flows from region 2 to region 1. The direction of the field line flow is from region 2 to region 1. So to find the tangential component, we will use the equation for work done in a closed path, and to find normal component we will use Gauss law. It is same as we did in the previous derivation. That is the boundary condition between the free space and the conductors. So for this I am considering two regions, that is with the dielectric media 1 and dielectric media 2. So which has a permittivity of epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. The region 1 has a permittivity of epsilon 1 and region 2 has a permittivity of epsilon 2. To find the tangential component, I will consider a closed path ABCDA, a closed path ABCDA. So here in the tangential direction of the tangential component in the region 1, consider in this direction, and direction of the tangential component in region 2 is considered in this direction. And the direction of the path ABCDA, the field in the direction of the path ABCDA is considered the clockwise direction. It moves from A to B, B to C, C to D and D to A. So similarly in the last case, here also the half part of the closed path is in region 2 and remaining half part is in region 1. The width of the closed path is delta W and height of the closed path is delta H. The delta H by 2 part is in region 1 and delta H by 2 part is in region 2. Now to find what is the work done to move a charge from unit charge from point A to again point A in this path is given by equation that is integration of E dot dl, which is equal to 0. So as you know, this path can be divided into four sections. One is A to B, then B to C, and C to D, and D to A. So we can write this as this integral can be split into four parts. That is, one is A to B and B to C, other one is C to D and D to A. Now here I need to consider the boundary conditions. So to consider boundary condition, this height delta H should be very small. To consider a boundary condition, this height delta H should be very small. So I am considering delta H tends to 0. So I means the delta H reduces to 0. So then this D to C and A to B will be corresponding to will touch to this boundary. So I can analyze what is the boundary, the electric field at this boundary, that is tangential component at this boundary and this side of the boundary. Now when delta H tends to 0, this will touch to here. It will be only tangential component. But before that, I will consider the electric field intensity at the region 1 as E1 and electric field intensity at region 2 is E2. Now E1 is a component which has a normal component and tangential component. Similarly, E2 also has normal component and tangential component. So E1 can be written as En1 plus E tan 1 and E2 can be written as E tan 2 into E tan 2 plus E2n. Now the magnitude of E12 is taken as E1t is taken as E tan 1 and magnitude of E2t is taken as E tan 2. Similarly, the normal component magnitude is E11, E1n and normal component of E2n, the E2 is taken as E2n. Now as I told, I will consider delta S tends to 0. When this tends to 0, the field corresponding to A to D and B to C becomes 0. The field corresponding to A to D and work done corresponding to A to D and B to C becomes 0. So the work done, total work done is corresponding to the sum of the work done from A to B and work done from C to D. When this length becomes very small, this length becomes very small, this path will become 0. So we are neglecting A to D and B to C paths. So the integral becomes A to B and C to D, which is equal to 0. Now we will find what is the integral from A to B and C to D. Now we know the length of A to B is delta W and length of C to D is also delta W. The direction of the field in delta W in the AB is in the direction of E tan 1. It is in the direction of E tan 1. So we will take the field is which is not parallel to E tan 1. It is in the direction of tan 1 and which is equal to E tan 1. So E1 at this A to B point is E is equal to E tan 1. So we can write the A to B E dot dl E tan 1 into A to B dl because E is a very small, the length is very small. So we will take E is constant, we will take that as outside, and the integration of A from A to B, the dl, which is equal to what is the length is A to B is dl is delta W. So we can write the integration from A to B E dot dl, which is equal to E tan 1 into delta W. Similarly, when you take the path from C to D, that is, if you see the diagram here, the path C to D, the field in the path C to D is in opposite to E tan 2. So we will take the field at C to D is minus E tan 2 because it is in the opposite direction. That's why we are taking negative value. And we can write the C to D integral as E dot dl, which is equal to minus E tan 2 delta W. So substituting equation 3 and 2 in 1, we will get E tan 1 into delta W minus E tan 2 into delta W, which is equal to 0. Now simplifying this, you will get E tan 1, which is equal to E tan 2. So we can say in a boundary of two dielectric medium, the tangential component of the field are not changing, so remain same. So we can say tangential component will continuous in a boundary of two dielectric mediums. And similarly, so we can obtain the tangential component of flux density by using the relation between electric field intensity and D, that is E is equal to D by epsilon naught, or D is equal to epsilon naught into E. So here it is not epsilon naught because it is not free space, it is a dielectric medium. So it is D is equal to epsilon naught, epsilon into E. So the permittivity corresponding to first medium is epsilon 1 and second medium is epsilon 2. So D tan 1 is epsilon 1 into E tan 1, similarly D tan 2. So using substituting in the place of E tan 1, D tan 1 by epsilon 1, and in the place of E tan 2, substitute D tan 2 by epsilon 2. You will get D tan 1 by D tan 2 is equal to epsilon 1 by epsilon 2, which is equal to epsilon R1 by epsilon R. So we can say the tangential component of flux density is proportional to their dielectric medium, but they will change with respect to the dielectric medium. So we can say the normal tangential component of D is discontinuous. So this is the tangential and the component of field and the flux density. Next we will find the tangential component of field intensity, the normal component of field intensity and the flux density. For that I am considering a Gaussian surface with area of delta S and the height of delta H. So the normal component of D, that is flux density in region 2 is dN2, and normal component of flux density at region 1 is dN1. So when delta S tends to 0, then we can analyze here height. If height becomes 0, then we can analyze the the boundary condition. So for that, delta H should tends to 0. So the flux corresponding to the lateral sides of the cylinder is 0. Now using Gauss law, we can write the surface integral of D dot ds is equal to Q. So D can be split into three parts. One is top surface, other one is bottom surface, and side surface or lateral surface. But here the lateral surface, the flux corresponding to lateral surface is 0 because delta H tends to 0. Now we have to find what is the flux corresponding to top surface and bottom surface. So I'll take that as equation 4. Now in the normal component at top surface is dN1 and the flux part is dN1, and normal component at bottom surface is dN2. But the direction is opposite. Here it is leaving from the medium, here it is entering the medium. So the flux leaving the medium is taken as negative and flux entering to the medium is taken as positive. So we can write the flux in the region 1 is taken as dN1, and I can write the equation at the top surface dN1 this integral d dot ds, which is equal to dN1 is a constant, so I will take outside. So top surface integral ds, which is equal to, so what is the area of that top surface is delta S, so which is equal to dN1 into delta S. I will take that as equation 5. Now if you observe here, if you take second region, what is the flux density direction? It is leaving from the surface, and so I will take the flux at this bottom surface as negative. So it is leaving from the surface, so I am taking it is a negative and it is assumed as constant. So d is equal to, the magnitude is dN2, but vector d is minus dN2, so which is taken as constant. So now bottom surface integral d dot ds will become minus dN2 bottom surface ds. So area of bottom surface of delta S. So this equation will become minus dN2 into delta S. By substituting equation 5, 6 in 4, we will get, so dN1 into delta S minus dN2 into delta S, which is equal to Q. So but we considered Q is equal to rho S into delta S. So it is, so in terms of surface charge density, Q can be written as rho S into delta S. Substituting this, you will get dN1 minus dN2, which is equal to rho S. dN1 minus dN2, which is equal to rho S. dN1 minus dN2, which is equal to rho S. But inside the surface charge density in a dielectric material is 0. Always considered as for ideal dielectric material, the surface charge density is considered as 0. So rho S is equal to 0. Now substituting this in above equation, dN1 minus dN2, we will get 0, and dN1, which is equal to dN2. So we can say the normal component of the flux density is continuous. It is remains same between both the boundaries. And the electric field intensity, normal component of electric field intensities can be obtained by dN1, which is equal to epsilon 1 into dN1, dN2 is equal to epsilon 2 into dN2. So substituting this, you will get dN1 by dN2, which is equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So which means the normal component of field intensity is inversely proportional to the dielectric permittivity of the dielectric medium's permittivity. So it depends on the dielectric medium 2 and medium 1. So En1 is equal to En1 by En2 is equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1, which is equal to epsilon R2 by epsilon R1. So normal component of electric field are inversely proportional to relative permittivity of the medium. So as you observe here, the tangential component of D will vary with respect to the medium, and the normal component of E will vary with respect to medium. So there is the change in the direction of D and E. So this is called the refraction of the flux density. We will see in next video, we will see what is the refraction of flux density when it is travel from one medium, dielectric medium, to other